Alright. Just give me a second. Get things set up. Alright. Sensors isn't gonna be here today because he's being a faggot. What a surprise. Okay. I think last time we didn't really finish the chapter, so... Anyway, apparently we managed to cross the guard post and make our way through the garrison before meeting the storyteller. Bright and Mai should be meeting with Isabella at this very moment. Wonder if they were able to find out any more information about Bazella. Right. Oh yeah, this is what happened. I remember now. We went to this alchemist dude's house whose death is apparently still unresolved. Right, let's check it out. As I mentioned a moment ago, I know very little about this matter. As a matter of fact, it might be better to ask the Inquisitors. I'll tell you about one thing though, namely what occurred before the incident. Before the incident? Yeah, it was 3 months ago, around the time that Master Beldic was murdered.
We were on our way back from collecting specimens for research, and it was already into the small hours of the morning.
That is a very female voice.
There
Thanks,
was
game.
a thunderstorm on the way, and as the storm drew nearer, we quickly made our way home.
Well, alright.
Anyone would have been surprised at what we saw, but Master Belduke, well, how can I put this? He reacted in a most peculiar way. Unlike others who saw it, he seemed unsettled, as if he was truly afraid of something.
He's the
After
witch.
that bell tower appeared, he changed completely. Master Belduke became a different man.
I don't think that staircase works like that. Also, how are you doing, Kieran? Wait a second. Did you just say a bell tower appeared? Hey, that explains it. That must be what High Inquisitor Darklaw meant when she mentioned an incident involving the bell tower. To this day, I do not know what the Master is so afraid of. Do you think it was connected in some way to his death? I think it must have been magic. I mean, for a bell tower to just appear like that. Nuts. Mr. Gruya, do you mind if we have a look around? I know that the Inquisitors have already carried out a full investigation, but there just might be a clue or two with some kind of connection to the Great Witch. Well, I suppose. Providing I am allowed to accompany you, of course. There is sensitive equipment everywhere, and it is my responsibility to take care of it. I understand. I'll be careful. That's good then. I wonder how the Professor and Luke are doing with their visit to the Storyteller. Yeah, I've been wondering about that too, a chance to meet Labyrinthia's creator. Let's just hope they don't upset the guy and have some terrible plot twist written about them. That would only happen if it was you that was the Storyteller, Nick. Professor would never let anything like that happen. Got a feeling they'll come back with some pretty useful leads. We have to do our best too, Nick. Let's keep up our side of this investigation. You got it, Maya. We're all in this together. Come on, let's see what we can find. That's the spirit. I'm doing fine too, yeah. Not looking forward to Tuesday when I got lectures again, but that's a thing. Great Witch Bezella will be tried in the court. That will be Labyrinthia's final chapter, a fitting end for a town ruled by witches and their magic. Am I to believe that this final chapter has already begun? That is correct, and there is no way you can possibly change its final outcome. I wonder about that. You see, I gave my word to a young lady. I promised that without fail, I will be able to rescue her. If I'm not mistaken, the Great Witch Trial will begin in 2 weeks' time, the same day on which you will hold your next parade. I believe that should give us sufficient time to show you what we can do. Such a smug countenance, I find it intolerable. I beg your pardon? 2 weeks from now, you say? I'm afraid that information is out of date, Herschel Layton. Out of date? What do you mean? My parade will be held the day after tomorrow, according to the amended story. The what? Day after tomorrow? That's not fair. Now that's the kind of countenance I want from the characters in my story. What? That's what I do, didn't you know? I decide the fate of characters who have no knowledge of their future. It would appear that you are not yet fully aware of the gravity of the situation. Let me see now. Just for fun, I'll write you a little story. A story full of surprises and a few tears. I shall enjoy seeing the emotions of the characters as they play their parts. A story for us? Stories are a fixture of this town. It would be wise to embrace them. Let's see. I think we need a stimulating incident. We shall have a witch, some witchcraft, and perhaps a little death. Death? Come! Oh, but I can't. Let me see. This is a golden opportunity to use the alchemist's residence. How about this? Your comrade meets with death by golden curse in the alchemist's residence. This could be a truly interesting story. No way, Jose. Feel free to act as you wish when playing your role in the story. How could you? Beginning of a new tragedy or farce. Victim of a golden curse lies in the dwelling of a user of false alchemy. Man from afar falls to a golden curse, and the woman from afar cries out in grief. The woman is captured, her dark trial begins, the fiery pit will cleanse all her sins. Man from afar falls to a golden curse, and the woman from afar cries out in grief. This must be referring to Maya and Mr. Wright. If we don't do something, Mr. Wright and Miss Faye will be in danger. No time to lose, Luke. Let's go and fight them. Right you are, Professor. The story has already been written, and no matter what you do, you will not change the result. I do not agree. What we do next can change the future in any number of ways. I'm sure that's what you want to believe. In fact, a naive outburst like that could be point and plot point. Please, be my guest. Your words may help to raise the tension and bring a little excitement to my story. You monster. Luke, chillax. We need to help Mr. Ryan Maya. Guy, let's go, Professor. Better hurry. Oops. Professor, do you hear a flapping sound coming this way? Sound of a large bird, perhaps. Excuse me. Ah, that's the owl that we saw in the audience room. It's holding a letter in its mouth, not to mention watching us intently. Perhaps he wants to tell us something. I'll try taking him to see what he wants. Talking to him to see what he wants. Woohoo! What can we do for you? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I've got it, Professor. Hoot, that's the owl, says the story was delivered to the storyteller 3 months ago. The letter. Storyteller? If that's so, then we can't very well keep it. After all, it's wrong to read letters addressed to someone else. That's what the owl said, but he also said there's absolutely nothing written on the sheets of parchment inside the envelope. Look, Professor, see, they're totally blank. A letter with nothing written on it. That is indeed most curious. And another thing, Professor. The owl says this letter was sent by the alchemist. What's that, my boy? Written by the alchemist? You remember what the storyteller wrote in that story he penned a moment ago? A victim of a golden curse lies in the dwelling of a user of false alchemy. Probably means the place at which this incident will occur is the home of the one who sent this letter. In other words, at the alchemist's house, right, Professor? It appears the address of the sender, Sir Belduke, written on the envelope, which means we had better make our way there immediately. Woohoo! Thanks, Mr. Hood. The address on the envelope is somewhere near the town square. It's a little far from here, Professor. We might not make it in time. I think we better run. Look, my boy, we have the needs to rent the steed. I think you're right, Professor. That will be far quicker than running. Quickly, Luke. There's no time to lose. Hey, easy, boy. This horse is certainly spirited. Hey Nick, have you noticed how the color of that wall is different from all the other walls in the room? I think I've investigated enough crime scenes by now to notice something as obvious as that, Maya. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but actually there was a small fire here a while ago. It was my fault. The wall ended up a bit singed in the process. Now that you mention it, there are some signs of a fire on the floor here too. That is correct. Anyway, I decided to paint the wall myself. Looks like Mr. Gria is way handier with his herbs than with a paintbrush. A little candle set fire to some dry straw. In all my time as a butler, I've never made such a major blunder. It's not that bad. You're being a little hard on yourself. Right, it's not so bad. Think that's bad? See Nick try and do the laundry. Now that's a major blunder. Okay, that was one time. Anyway. Let's go check out Mr. Belduke's study. While we're here, could you show us around your room a little, Mr. Gria? Of course. If it will bring you any closer to finding the truth, be my guest. However, as the Knights of the Inquisition have ordered that the crime scene be left undisturbed, I must ask you that you refrain from touching anything while you're in the study. Sure, we'll be careful. Is that a minibar? What's inside all those bottles? Maya, don't drink it. Who knows what strange mixtures the alchemist kept in those bottles. Hooray, hint coins. Books and documents are all neatly placed on the shelves. Gruyere is a very tidy person. Maybe Jean could teach me some alchemy and you how to keep your desk tidy, Nick. Town is over there. It's the opposite direction from the bell tower. A pretty view like this makes you forget about all the witches and murders. I got a little careless and failed to properly extinguish the fire. I painted the wall green so as to cover the discoloration caused by the fire. Right, you knew about that. Is Bardic not around today? Hey, look, Nick. They're on the floor. It's one of those, whatchamacallit. You know, a crop circle, right? It's an alchemist circle, Maya. We're not in a wheat field. Too bad. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but please be sure not to touch anything. You heard him, Maya. That means keep your hands to yourself. No problem. I'll just do the touching with my eyes. Your eyes? It looks like a load of white powder has been scattered around the desk. About this white powder. They've been here since the incident? That's right, it was just like this when I entered the room on the morning following the incident. I've left it this way ever since. I guess someone must have dropped the container full of some medicine. Please try not to walk in it, you may leave footprints. Now that you said it, all I want to do is leave little old footprints all over the place. It'll be like Maya was here. Hey, that's a pretty little picture over there. Could use a picture like this back at the office, don't you think? We could hang it right next to Charlie. That's... What is it, Nick? The wall behind this picture frame. Wall? Oh, that. Seems like there is some kind of green mark on the wall just by the painting. Wonder if there's something hidden behind this painting. Hey, Nick, look at this. The wall behind this painting, it's painted green. Is there a problem? No problem. Some kind of clue. Curiously shaped implement. No idea what it was used for. Could be a device for turning bread into gold. Yeah, think not. Ooh, that's a magic circle. It's neatly drawn and it sure looks magical. I guess that's the kind of stuff you're into, being a spirit medium. Cabinet might have contained the alchemist's research materials, but it's been emptied. Only some junk's been left behind. It's a globe of the night sky. The alchemist was also an astronomer, or maybe he was into astrology. Who knows? Dots. What's the matter, what's the matter, Mr. Guya? Oh, it's, actually, it's that pendant. I must say, I find it fascinating. Ooh, you mean this old thing? It's called a Magatama. Magatama? Yep. You could say it's kind of like my source of power, I guess. I understand. Stones are often charged with energy, after all. The pattern you're wearing is pretty neat too. It's such a mysterious color. Oh, this? An amethyst. Master Beldic asked me to wear it. An amethyst? The amethyst brings about good vibrations in an alchemist sense. Mr. Guya? Oh, I'm sorry. I was just remembering Mr. Beldic. He gave me this stone and accepted me as his assistant alchemist, but now Master... Whoops. Skipped it. Seems like Guya really misses him. Must have really respected Sir Beldic. Excuse me. Well, I think we've just about investigated everything we can for now. But we didn't find any leads on the Great Witch. Oh, Mr. Gria? Yeah, what is it? Is there anywhere else you can think of where we might find some more clues? Let me see. Well, there is a cellar under his study. That's where the master kept his research materials. Cellar under his room? Yes, there's a trapdoor in the floor leading down to the cellar. Room containing Belduke's research. If you don't mind, I'd like to have a quick look at that room. See, very well. If you'll please just wait a moment. That ladder leads down into the cellar, but be careful, it's rather dark down there. Looks like it might be a little cramped down there too. That's true. Perhaps it is a little bit small for the both of you at once. Okay, Nick, this seems more like your kind of thing anyway. What do you mean? I know. I guess you're just more suited to small, dark, damp places. I'm not a rat, you know. Come on, you know that's not what I mean. I'll just stay up here and snoop around for some clues. Not snooping, Maya, it's investigating. Anyway, you do that, I'll be right back. Yay! Way to go, Nick. Well, I should return to my room. Please give me a call as soon as you have both finished. Okay, got it. Nuts. A little chilly down here. Doesn't look like it's been used much. The air is so musty and stale. Anyway, better hurry up and take a look around. Looks like Sir Belduke studied alchemy here too. I don't see anything medicine-like, but there sure is a lot of equipment. This desk is pretty messy, not a speck of dust though. Guess Gria must be keeping it clean. There's a wooden box by the desk filled with all kinds of junk. The doll is peeping out of the box. I wonder if it was left by a little girl who was one of the doctor's patients. Plenty of sketches and drawings, nothing useful for us. What's this? A map? Well, well, well. If this isn't a well, looks like it's still in use too. I'm guessing you need quite a bit of clean water for alchemy. Come to think of it, I haven't noticed any plumbing here in Labyrinthia. So, what are you saying? You haven't been to the toilet in all the days you've been here, right? This well must have been built here specifically to provide water for alchemical research. Poor potted plants are starting to wither. I'm going to get some water for them. Well then, only thing left to look at is the goat. Looks like a sculpture of a goat, I think. Something about it gives me the creeps. Wait a second, is this thing is completely made of gold? Must be the result of alchemy. I guess in this town anything's possible. Why over here she'd break her back trying to get that goat away with her? That's strange. Almost everything in this room is covered in a layer of dust. Everything, except for the goat, that is, seems to have been kept in pristine condition. Well, I've pretty much seen all there is to see down here. The room doesn't seem to have been used much, and there is nothing I can see that might provide a lead. If I stay here any longer, I might just end up covered in dust myself. Not to mention, standing here sighing is kind of clogging up my lungs. Maybe it's time I head back upstairs. I should probably see how Maya's doing. This is the alchemist's house. We have to hurry. Professor, wait for me.
Miss Faye.
Hi, Professor. What's up? You look flushed.
Where's Mr. Wright? Have you seen him?
Oh, Nick. He's just down in the basement doing some investigating. He should be back up soon. So how did it go? Did you get to see the storyteller?
Please, get Mr. Wright immediately. It's safer if we're all together in one place. I'll explain later. Just hurry.
Huh?
As things stand, Mr. Wright is in serious danger.
Nick's in danger? What do you mean?
I have reason to believe that a witch will appear here soon. Oh?
That looks ridiculous.
As written in the story.
Do you happen to be the Great Witch Bazella?
Concern yourselves not with who I am, but rather with what you will now become.
Oh dearie, dearie me. Whatever is the matter, child? You look positively flustered. Your Belduke is no longer resident here. You'll need to go elsewhere for your medicaments. I know that. Let me through. It's a matter of life and death. Life and death, you say? If so, then I must foresee a bit, hit ballad. Raise up your hearts and sing with Birdly. A bird is cracker, first, second, and thirdly. Ah, this must be that rival Mr. Barley was talking about. Anyway, I'm in a hurry. Dearie, dearie me.
Dearie, dearie me.
Professor! It wasn't me!
Huh? What the?
Well then.
Professor, the words the storyteller wrote really did come true. And in the worst possible way, a man from afar falls to a golden curse. At first, I thought he was referring to Mr. Wright, but I got it all wrong. It was about the professor.
It could have gone either way, you fucking doofus. That's the point of ambiguity in predictions. That no matter what happens, it's gonna come true either way. Ambiguity. Ambiguity. Pronunciations are hard. Oh boy. Time is it? Alright. Good. Doesn't make sense. How has it come to this? Darn witch. Why did it have to happen to the professor of all people? Got to believe me, Nick. I may be a spirit medium, but I'm no witch. Don't worry, I know it wasn't you. Say, have you seen Luke today? I haven't seen him since last night. He was crying all night. I didn't know what to say to him. No kidding. The one suffering the most from all this. Poor kid. Probably needs some time to be alone with his grief. We should leave him be. Yeah, he shouldn't have to see this trial. It'd be too hard on him. Oh, it's Isabella. What are you doing here, Isabella? Have you been cleared of the accusations? No, not yet. If only it was that easy. It's just that I'm not technically under arrest, so I got special permission to come here. I'm free to go wherever I like within this building. Ah, I see. I heard about Mr. Layton. It's awful. He was such a good man. I'm sorry, Espella. Huh? What are you apologizing for? We were supposed to find clues connected to Bazella, but we couldn't find anything. And now the professor's been... No, don't say that. It's not your fault. And I don't believe a word of what they say about Maya. She isn't a witch. Thanks, Espella. Mr. Wright, do you mind if I assist you in court today? Huh? I know I may not be of much use, but I'll do what I can. I want to help you and Maya. Oh. Excuse me. You're the butler of the Layton Master Belduke, and he has a different brooch this time. I've come to inquire after Miss Maya. It is most regrettable what happened yesterday. Oh, thank you for coming all the way here. You look really pale, Jean. Are you alright? No, please don't worry about me. It's merely that, since the incident, sleep has eluded me. Oh, spent the night searching through Master's notes on alchemy. I hope there may be some mention of a method by which something turned to gold may be reverted back to its original form. We're looking for a way to rescue the professor? Human fate is often cruel, but that's also why we must never lose hope. Oh. Defender accused. Trial is about to start. Get the fuck in there. Nick, you're up, Maya. I'm not just going to let them sentence you. I just wish this all would stop already. Whether someone's a witch or not, no one deserves to be burned. I know, I can't stand for it either. Thoughts. If you'll kindly excuse me now, I must return to my duties. Ah, no problem. We, appreciate you coming to see us. Something's bothering me. Jean seems somewhat odd today. Let's go, Mr. Wright. The trial is about to begin. Hooray, reused audio loop.
The trial of Maya Fey shall now begin, as scheduled. Knights of the court, are you ready to cross your swords of justice?
Can you actually pronounce it scheduled instead of scheduled? Sounded kind of weird.
Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum always has his sword ready for the work of justice.
Defense ready, Your Honor. At this stage, I just gotta give it all I've got.
It would appear the defender has thrown down the gauntlet, Sir Barnum. Now, before we begin, may I have a word with you,
Yes, Your Honor.
Last time we met, you stood in this court as an apprentice baker. In all honesty, when I saw you for the first time, I thought to myself, a baker should stick to bread baking.
Is that so? What a fine first impression I made.
However, today you are not merely some befuddled maker of sweet buns. I'm obliged to fully recognize you as a knight of law and justice, on par with Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum. Now may your duel begin. Fight bravely and expose the truth behind this heinous crime.
All right! We're all counting on you, Inquisitor Barnum!
I knew she was a witch as soon as I laid my eyes on her. She's got witch written all over her. Why not put the baker on trial? Bake the baker, I say!
They treat him like some sort of celebrity.
He may be adored by the crowds, but when he pointed his sword my way, you managed to shield me from his accusations.
I really don't like Isbella's voice.
Maya clearly isn't a witch, so surely your victory is certain.
Thank you for believing in me.
Espella Cantabella. I have given you leave to come to this trial today. However, that does not mean that the charges against you have been dropped. Rather than worry about others, you should consider your own situation.
Thank you for granting me your permission.
Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin your opening statement. As you wish, my lord. As usual, let us commence this trial by first recounting the events. If it pleases you, Sir Blue Knight. As, you wish, Inquisitor? I still can't get used to his terminology. This heinous crime occurred in the residence of late Newton Belduke, the alchemist. Here's a sketch plan of the residence. This room, of a somewhat questionable nature, is the alchemist's study in which the incident took place. The only ones present at the moment of the crime were the accused and the victim, no one else. And before third person in the room. Witnesses who arrived at the scene seconds later have indicated where they found the accused and the victim. Very well, the sketch is accepted as evidence. The accused took Sir Layton's life with the most cruel of magic. A living man 1 second, a golden statue the next. Such wickedness. Magic turns things into gold? Sure, why not? Several townspeople rushed to the room and paid witness to the horror of this magic. The accused has been captured and charged. Goodness, that is terrifying. Rumors have reached me that the victim was a most scintillating man. I'm not quite certain whether it was prior to or after, but incidentally, was the Sir Layton not the same hat maker who attended our previous trial? No, he wasn't a hat maker. Bizarre as it is, Sir Layton's profession and origin remain unknown. He was a stranger in this city, that's all we know. And you, sir, his acquaintance, you are an unusual presence in our city yourself. This case certainly is peculiar, and that is not the last of the peculiarities, my lord. The alchemist's study has been the scene of another strange incident in the past. Ah yes, I remember it as if it were yesterday. The mysterious death of Newton Belduke himself. Indeed, my lord. Regrettably, the only case of witchcraft still to remain unsolved in our fair city. The witch may have escaped her punishment back then. But perhaps today is the day on which both these mysterious crimes shall be resolved. What? What are you implying? Patience, you will know soon enough, Sir Suddenly Pale Blue Knight. How interesting. It seems the Inquisition have something up their sleeve. Now, Inquisitor Barnum, you may begin. Thank you, my lord. The Inquisition summons the witnesses to this malicious crime of witchcraft. If only I made it to the room sooner. Maybe I could have prevented all this from happening. I won't let Maya take the rap for this. I'll find every single crack in her testimony and prove it wasn't her. Welcome to the Witch's Court, honorable witnesses. Now, let us hear your names and occupations. I am known far and wide as a mere punching bog. I, soon to be the new head of Punch and Box retail organization, PRO.
Hang on!
Wait a minute, witness. What's that, Blue Squire? You're that guy from the previous trial. Just what the fuck happened to you? You look like you've been in one of those ultimate makeover shows. That's... Whatever do you mean? Your name is Emir Punchenbog. I, soon to be the head of Punchenbog's retail organization, PRO. What is the meaning of this, Inquisitor? I do not care to delve into this witness' personal affairs. Like he remembers him all too well. Witnesses, pray continue. Oh dearie me, it is I who usually ask the questions. I am, you see, but a humble teacher. Call me Miss Primstone. The children of Labyrinthia Primary School have the privilege of learning the truths about this world from me. Elementary school teacher, huh? Good to know that at least one witness seems sensible. I don't know about that, dude. Winds carry me song, it's birdly stringing along, paradigm bard ensemble avant-garde. My faithful muse here is Cracker the musical parrot. No one understands music like Cracker. Aside from me, naturally. What he said. At least it's not another goat. What a smart bird. He just imitated that teacher perfectly. I'm Luke Triton. My occupation is the professor's apprentice. What? Why? What are you doing over there? I made up my mind. I'm doing this for the professor. A gentleman has to pursue the truth. But, Luke, that's where the Inquisition's witnesses stand. I'll never forgive that witch. A gentleman shouldn't glare at people as if he wants to hit them in the face. Luke, a friend today can be your enemy tomorrow, such is the hard reality of the battlefield. Witnesses, we will now hear your testimony. Tell us all of this wicked incident which you have been blah blah. Oh boy. I heard a scream and an incantation, and then when I entered the room, the victim was already all shiny. Mayhaps something caused discord between erstwhile friends. Mr. Silkhat had a knife at the ready, in his hand. Victim of magic, sparkly and done for, I heard the staff fall on the floor. The professor must have seen through Miss Maya's deception and confronted her right there, face to face. I see. However, one part of the testimony was somewhat confusing. You there, the singer. Singer, could you possibly mean me, Burley the Bard, Your Excellence? Yeah, that would be you. The staff that you sung about. It is, as you suspect, my lord, this very witch's scepter. There are two different magic gems attached, meaning the perpetrator could have used two types of magic. This gem here enables the use of a gold transmutation, gold ore. Gold ore, just the word alone makes the tiny hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Ha 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 ha, that's the one, alright. That's the dreadful incantation that I, Emir Punchenbog, I also heard. Oh dearie dearie me, I have seen that scepter, so I have. Clank tips over the golden man, the scepter falls, not the witch's plan. Oh dearie dearie me, how dare she do that to the professor? By the way, this witch's scepter was found on the floor near the victim. You'll turn your attention to the sketch of plans. It was located right here. The scepter dropped by the accused would naturally tumble to exactly that spot.
Objection!
Inquisitor Barnum, what you're saying amounts to nothing more than a baseless assumption. You're on the edge today, Sir Blue Knight. Is it because your friend is on trial? Perhaps you had better cool yourself down. Well, anyway, the court accepts this scepter as evidence. Thank you, my lord. Something. What is it now, Sir Blue Knight? We know that one of the gems is for the spell gold ore. What about the other one? A naive question, huh? Naivety may be no hindrance to a baker who spends most of his time amidst bread, but it can be your undoing here in the court. Wouldn't I put a weapon in his enemy's hands? He's telling me to do my homework, huh? That's right, I'll look for the information about that magic gem in the Grand Grimoire. Thanks. The defender may interrogate the witnesses. Press all the things. And, what is all this about exactly? What do you mean, Blue Squire? Your gaudy, colorful outfit. I mean, your attire was different last time. A little more modest. The Ymir you knew back then is no more. I'm a new man now, reborn into the higher echelons of society. What's he drinking? There's a skull and crossbones mark on the bottle. Enough idle chatter. The witness heard a screaming incantation, is that correct? That's right, it's just like what you said earlier. It was the spell Goldor, and it was, without a doubt, the voice of the accused that said it. However, it's rather peculiar. When I saw the accused and the victim together last time, it seemed to be on friendly terms. Next witness will dispel your doubts, my lord. Mayhaps something caused this discord.
Hold it!
Are you saying you think they quarreled? The other day I saw you all together in this very court and you were evidently friends. Well, yeah, that's true, but what's that got to do with... Now everyone, listen carefully. No chatting in the back now. What I say will be in the next exam. Miss Primstone's lesson number 5. Friendship leads to nothing but trouble. People would not break up and part their ways in anger if they did not become friends in the first place. Kids in our class must grow up to be model citizens. Oh dearie, dearie me, what I saw in that room curdled the blood in my veins. Mr. Silkhat was pointing the glittering knife ever so threateningly.
Hang on!
Is everything okay, Luke? No, of course it's not okay. Professor was a true gentleman, and no gentleman would go around threatening people with knives. I couldn't agree more. Silly boy, I saw your professor pointing a knife. Are you insinuating that I'm a liar, you cheeky little whippersnapper? Professor would never do that. You don't know him. At least Luke's found someone else to antagonize. Mr. Wright? I think there was some important information in Miss Primstone's testimony. Really? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not my place to say things like that. Spell, why don't you tell us all what you noticed? Oh, is that okay? Go ahead. Miss Primstone, do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, it's you, Miss Spella Cannabella. Miss Primstone, did you actually see the knife that Mr. Layton was holding? I did, as a matter of fact, yes. I remember that glinting blade very well. A most frightening sight that was, too. And you saw that from the door, didn't you? Now, if we look at the sketch... When the incident took place, Mr. Layton must have been facing this way, correct? It must have been the case, otherwise the witness would not have been able to see it. Well, that's all I wanted to ask. The more information we have, the better, right? Yeah. Now then, next witness. Victim of magic sparkling down for I heard the staff fall on the floor.
Hold it!
Would you mind describing what you saw without singing about it? As you wish, my musically impaired friend. Simply put, when I entered the room, the victim was worth his weight in gold, for obvious reasons. He tipped over and fell heavily onto the floor. The room became drearily silent. And then I heard that scepter tumbling across the floor.
Hang on!
Can I ask you something, Miss Primstone? Dearie me. Do not frighten me so. I feel like a schoolgirl caught napping during class. Miss Primstone, did you see the witch's scepter at the crime scene? Well, about that, I must confess I do not clearly recall. You don't remember? When I went into the room, the golden man fell down and made quite a ruckus. That is why I did not notice the scepter being dropped. So you didn't see it after all. But I am certain that witch girl had it. She must have been hiding it behind her back.
Objection!
Please don't assume Maya is a witch just because she's been accused. I see. Now we would like to hear the next one. Professor must have seen through Miss Maya's deception and confronted her face to face. Luke, open your eyes. Maya isn't a witch. Ever since we came to this town, lots of unbelievable things have happened. And that's why, from now on, I'll only believe what I see with my own eyes. Luke, When I went into that room, the only people I saw were the Professor and Maya. The Professor had been turned to gold, and Maya dropped that scepter. That's not true. What? Didn't have any scepter, and we weren't the only ones in that. Silence! The accused has no right to speak. Be silent, or you will face punishment. You can end this trial immediately should you decide you feel talkative again. I'm sorry. Did you really see the scepter? I don't know. When the professor turned to gold and collapsed right in front of me, everything seemed to fade to black. And then I could have sworn I at least heard Maya drop the scepter. The scepter was found at the scene of the crime. That is the unavoidable truth. Only the accused could have dropped it. This isn't looking good. Anyway, I need to find a way to calm Luke down first of all. Not sure if I should present thing already, given that, like, if they're, like, let's just try it. Nope. Fucking hell. I guess maybe with him. Something, sure, whatever. Yeah, there we go.
Objection!
Okay. Wasn't sure where to present this. Luke, you said you will only believe what you see with your own eyes. But what you think you saw may not be the whole truth. Huh? What do you mean? Take a close look at the sketch of the crime scene. At the time of the incident, Professor Layton and Maya were standing here. Now, we have learned from Miss Primstone's testimony which way the professor was facing. He was facing this way. Oh. You have testified that the professor confronted Maya face to face. But looking at the sketch of where they were standing, one thing is clear. There's a contradiction in your testimony. What?
Objection!
Whether they were facing each other or not is of no relevance whatsoever. They were only the only ones in that room. One was a victim, thus the other one must be the witch.
Objection!
I will ask you to wait before jumping to conclusions, Inquisitor. Think back to Miss Primstone's testimony. She told us that the professor was pointing a knife at someone, threateningly. However, you can see in the sketch that he wasn't threatening Maya. So then, who was he pointing a knife at? What's up? The professor would never point a knife at anyone. I was the one who opened the door to that room, so I was the first to witness, and I saw no knife. Miss Primstone's testimony is not reliable. Oh dearie me, will you look at this child sputtering nonsense and talking badly of his elders? Professor Barnum, yes my lord. It posed no difficulty to verify whether or not the victim had a knife. After all, that sparkling golden body of his has been found at the scene of the crime, has it not? Indeed it has, my lord. For attendance, you heard the judge. Bring the victim into the courtroom. Like you're going to bring the golden statue. Look at that. Did it get damaged in transit? Professor! So, this is the power of the gold transmutation spell. Most spectacular. It looks like the work of the finest artisans. I assure you it is the work of no artisans, my lord. By the way, the missing arm has not yet been found. Can't believe this, Professor! Suppose we should add the victim to the evidence. The professor who, while searching for evidence, became evidence. This is unfortunate. I thought the evidence would be as good as gold. But although it technically is, we are still no closer to discerning whether or not the victim was holding a knife.
Hold it!
Let me speak, please. The professor didn't have a knife, and also, there was another person in that room. A real witch was there too, please believe me. Hughes, do I really need to warn you again? Inside the cage you are to behave like a bird that has forgotten its song. Speak again and you shall be punished. Or are you in a particular hurry to taste the flames of justice, little bird?
Objection!
But it's true that someone else could have been at the crime scene. Look at the sketch. The victim was facing towards someone and that person wasn't Maya. Purple Luna, your ignorance is no longer even a surprise. Huh? You do not know what transpired at the crime scene. You think this man was pointing at another person, you say? Let me tell you this. Nearly everyone in this court other than you knows what Sir Hat was pointing at. Well, honorable witnesses, is that not so? I am here, Punch and Bog. I love me some gossip and stories of the occult. Elusive like mist, the magical beast, its chilling breath brings about death. Oh dear me. You could use some education. I can offer you private tuition, but it will not come cheap. Professor isn't confronting Maya. Witnesses, you will now testify. Tell us all about this other presence at the crime scene. We all know what happened to that alchemist, so this case is no mystery. Same place, same magic trick. This time her luck ran out and she dropped that magic scepter. Truth obscured by a twisted ruse, the witch couldn't vanish but did confuse. It happened because the professor unraveled the mystery behind all these witches. Same magic trick was used? Much like this incident, a man lost his life to witchcraft in that very room. It was the master of that residence, Sir Newton Belduke, the alchemist. He suffered death by strangulation. Finger marks were left on his neck. He had locked himself in his study, and the key was still in his pocket. In other words, no one could have entered that room. The perpetrator disappeared from a locked room, just like in this case. A large amount of powder medicine was spilled all over the floor. Powder medicine? Due to the presence of that power, had anyone entered the room, clear footprints would have remained, yet there were none. That's the kind of mystery that the professor would have loved to solve. Thus there were two unnatural circumstances to Sir Belduke's death. The culprit's disappearance from a locked room, and the fact that they appeared not to have walked on the floor. It's almost as if they flew away. In other words, it couldn't have been the Demary magic that was used in my case the other day. Hold on. Seems like the killer levitated above the floor, strangled Belduke, and vanished into thin air. But what does that have to do with this trial? It has been 3 months since that murder. Despite that, we still haven't been able to find the witch responsible. But now, having eluded us for so long, that witch has finally been brought before this court. We will have justice. What? Well then, why don't you interrogate the witnesses? Now that you are aware of the connection between the two murders.
Objection!
Don't be serious. 3 months ago we weren't even... Fender, you may interrogate the witnesses. May their testimonies lead us to the truth.
Hold it!
You're talking about Mr. Belduke's murder, which took place in a locked room? Yeah, real shocker, alright? Everyone was talking about it. People don't say this out loud, but you know, eh? You're thinking it too, eh? I don't have the faintest idea what you're talking about. Ain't it clear as day? He was an alchemist. An alchemist! Alchemy is just like magic, ain't it? The Beldeacon was a man, only a woman can be a witch. It's more witchcraft has nothing to do with alchemy. They're different, somehow. Alchemy is the mysterious art of manipulating the forces of nature, or so it is said. Well, that sounds a lot like magic to me. Alchemy is irregular peoples, all magic really. And you know, a couple of days before the witch got him, it was a lightning that struck. Lightning? Glad you're asking, because I like telling that one. All of a sudden, like a bolt from the blue sky, it was a bolt from the sky. Only it wasn't blue. The sky lit up and turned blood red. And then, out of nowhere, an old-looking bell tower appeared in a burst of flames. Makes you realize Mother Nature's pretty far from stuff, eh? You have straight off the topic at hand, witness. This is a courthouse, not an inn. Save your thrilling stories for later.
Hold it!
Would you care to elaborate on that, Miss Brimstone? You could say I'm a scholar, and my knowledge is vast and diverse. I know a thing or two about witchcraft. Therefore, I have a very good idea of the type of magic that must have been used this time. The magic behind this mysterious figure that appeared out of nowhere, glided through the air and vanished after making the kill. Indeed, yes, and the witch's scepter confirms my theory. Brilliant deduction. I'm honored to have studied under an excellent teacher such as yourself. Who's this teacher? Actually, I guess that kinda explains a lot. Our occult crime analysts have arrived at the same conclusion. Right. Found it. The spell Familia, bound within this purple gem, is used to summon a familiar. Familiars appear out of nowhere, glide through the air, and vanish when their task is accomplished. They are evil, bloodthirsty spirits used by witches to perform outrageous crimes. Evil spirits? Are you saying that the witch used a familiar to... It was a familiar that took Sir Belduke's life, and now it has appeared again. Sir Silcat was probably trying to ward off the evil spirit with his knife. But what good is a knife against an occult creature? Completely blah blah. This bringing us to the conclusion that Sir Belduke and Sir Silcat were both killed by the same witch. What? That's a jump. What an unexpected turn of events. The two incidents have been shown to be connected. Due to the same witch's scepter having been used in both cases, you can't establish that? Oh, whatever. Oh, this is terrible. Now Maya is accused of 2 murders. Oh, dearie me, I was right as always. It's gruesome murder who will be in the next exam. Make sure to take notes. Now I shall divulge what really happened. You're all ears. Hold on. Look at this. That hat maker was pointing a knife at the witch's familiar.
Hold it!
Did you actually see the familiar? Oh dearie, no I did not. When that boy opened the door, familiar had just disappeared. Had the boy opened the door sooner, no doubt we all would have seen it. If he were my student, I would have made sure to teach him not to dilly-dally.
Hang on!
What's up, Luke? No, it's not right at all. Is there something in Miss Brimstone's testimony? That's what I keep telling you. The professor wouldn't point a knife at anyone. Hear me, what an impertinent child. I'm telling you I saw a knife. I distinctly saw the glint of a sharp blade.
Objection!
Yeah, it's the gold thing, you fucking idiots. victim's arm is missing. As such, there is no proof that he had a knife.
Objection!
That is but a mere detail. It matters not. Mere detail? Matters not? Oh my. Anyhow, I wonder, where could that missing arm be? Yeah, that ought to be looked into.
Hang on!
Mister, do you have something you'd like to share with us? Mr. Emir! It's Mr. Emir punching bag to you. One to you, Louis. The likes of you ought to show some respect for a future man with wealth such as me. Seem to be looking ahead to a future full of newly gained riches. I can look wherever I bleed in place. Anyway, why are you looking at me like that? Oh, about Golden Bloke's arm? Excuse me, Miss, right? I may be wrong, but there's something about that man. Wouldn't you say he looks, suspicious? Not just you. Everything about him is so shady it makes me want to double check my pockets. Mr. Emir, stop pretending you don't know anything about the victim's missing arm. Pretending? Told you know nothing. Not a 0-0. I ain't seen it, or heard about it, or put it in my pocket. Put it in your pocket? It wasn't me, honest. Seriously, I got nothing to do with this.
Objection! Mia! You lying, cheating, good for nothing! You tried to deceive me!
Order, who is that person? You want to know who I am? I'm the Price the pawnbroker. And this man is a shamless, cheating bum. He had the nerve to lie to me. What? I'll tell you, on the day of the crime, Emir came to my shop. Waltzed up to me saying he got his hands on a superb work of art, rare as gold dust. I've got it right here. Just like I thought. Oh my. Professor's arm! And all the other witnesses have disappeared. Pure gold, exquisitely crafted. It was entitled, Towards Tomorrow, or something like that. Never seen a piece of gold this fine before, and so, suspecting nothing, I paid that rascal a rather handsome sum. Who would have thought? And what am I hearing now? That it was a human arm, no less. You, sir, are a monster. We're as bald as a witch is familiar yourself. I didn't know it was his arm, I swear. When I saw it, it was already like that. What do you mean? I was lost to the scene and it caught me eye right away. That golden arm pointing up at the ceiling with such optimism and authority. I thought it looks like it's showing me the way to a better, brighter, richer tomorrow. To me, it was a work of art, a precious one at that. And then it found its way into your pocket and you pawned it? Mounted it on a crude stand, gave it a tawdry title and passed it off as some kind of a sculpture. Try to look away from the truth now. Arnie, I can look wherever I don't please. Look away from the facts and forward to the future. Always look on the bright side. Where were we now? Ah yes, the victim's arm has now been successfully reattached by one of our masterful craftsmen. Knights of the court, you may resume the Inquisition. At least one thing's clear now. As everyone can see, the victim definitely wasn't holding a knife. Oh dear me, it seems I may have been mistaken after all. When you think about it, the victim had already turned to gold when he entered the room. According to witness assessment, that was the case. Well then, I'm sure you can see that it was easy to mistake the glittering pointing finger for a knife. Such a sense of power and intensity. It's enough to send a shiver down the spine of anyone being pointed at. No puzzle is a match for the power of the professor's pointing finger. I guess no one remembers I'm known for pointing like that too. I think your pointing finger makes quite an impression too, Mr. Wright. Is that all you had to say, Sir Blue Knight? Huh? As I said before, whether the victim had a knife or not, completely irrelevant. Yeah, what he said, you better apologize to me now. Badgering me for no reason like that? Come this far, maybe there's something else you could ask about. Well then, Mr. Emir, perhaps you could tell me one more thing about that arm. Whoops, I did. Fuck. Can you tell me where you found the arm? I told you before it was when I entered that room. Really kinda stood right out, you see? Glittering on the floor like that, you couldn't miss it. And yet no one else noticed it. How do you explain that? I guess they must have been looking at the golden hat guy when he fell down. I was the last to enter the room, so I noticed the arm before the, rest. And as soon as you noticed it, you slipped it into your pocket like a common thief? It's no laughing matter, witness. Well, Mr. Wright, maybe he knows something else we could use. Oh, it shuffled him around, okay. Can you tell me when you found the arm? Oh wait, no, it didn't shuffle him. Never mind. Found the arm on the floor pointing upwards, you said? Yeah, it did. Finders keepers, let's say. Pointing straight up at the ceiling. The arm somehow happened to fall down in such a way that it landed upright. What are the odds of that? Actually, that reminds me of a puzzle. Now if you could just show us on the floor plan here. I'd like to know the exact spot where you found the victim's arm. Sure, I remember that. Right here. Yes. It's where you would expect it to have fallen. Now if that's where it was, then something that's definitely not right. If you keep looking at that sketch so intensely, you shall burn a hole in it. Or perhaps you're going to claim there's a contradiction in it somewhere. Even after turning to gold, he was pointing out something important, namely the key to solving this case. Actually, there's a problem. Of course there's a problem. And where would that be precisely? Professor's arm has armed me the professor's arm has armed me with some vital evidence. Its location leads to a huge contradiction. In that case, why don't you enlighten us and show us the so-called contradiction? What contradicts the evidence? Well, he was pointing there. I'm not sure what the game wants me to point at, so. Coins. Right, yeah. That was one of the two possibilities. And this is the witch's scepter? Let's go over the order of events as per the witnesses' testimonies. First, the witch cast a spell on the thing. When all of you rushed to the crime scene, the golden statue fell down, making a loud noise. Next, the witch dropped the scepter. What are you getting at? That's right, they all agree that's how it happened, but then there's the arm. Well, what about it? Let's assume that Maya was the witch. Now look at the sketch again. The witch dropped the scepter after having turned the professor into gold. The scepter trembled along the floor and was found here as asserted by the prosecution. However, that would be impossible. There is no way it could have been there. Glad you seem to have noticed. The victim's arm was on the floor right there, standing on its end. Therefore, the scepter couldn't have possibly fallen that way. Ergo, it couldn't have been the defendant who dropped the scepter. In other words, Maya is not a witch. Order, how can this be? The Inquisition's reasoning has been proven invalid through just one single piece of unusual evidence. That was amazeballs.
Objection!
An admirable deduction, Sir Blue Knight, that I cannot deny, even if we are to assume your reasoning is correct and that girl in the cage is not a witch. In the many trials I've attended, I have become well versed in certain aspects of magic. I'm all too aware of its potential to confuse people who fuddle their minds and make their memories hazy. No one can resist such a maddening influence. What are you trying to say? Scepter could not have tumbled across the floor if the arm were in its way. However, can we be sure that is where the arm was? Are all of the witnesses able to confirm its location at the time?
Objection!
We've heard what they had to say several times now. They agreed that the scepter fell after the victim fell over.
Objection!
And yet no one actually saw the scepter being dropped. Witnesses, think back to the incident once more. Did the golden statue follow first, or did the staff fall before it? Think carefully what you have seen about what you have seen and heard. Everything hinges on your testimonies. May your words guide us to the truth and decide the fate of this caged witch. I was about to get ready to leave, but it seems there is a need for further questioning. Testify once more. Tell us of the golden statue and the Talia Magica. Actually, I'm gonna stop here, because it's 11 o'clock and I'm getting really fucking tired. Try to do this. Oh, I can't save right now. Never mind. I guess we're gonna listen to this and then... Now I can. Alright, never mind. Save it. There we go. Gonna finish this tomorrow for sure. But yeah, right now I'm too tired to get into the fucking thick of a court case like that. Probably gonna be tomorrow evening as per usual, maybe. Maybe I'll stream something else in the afternoon. I don't know yet. We'll see. Thanks for sticking with me. And hopefully see you tomorrow. Have a good night.